kid.
The dawn is coming.
Instead, character. See, they
There was a vision. That is Alex. And my three dreams.
The United States would have the Panama Canal.
What is up, guys? It's me, KC, and welcome to the first installment of August with Warner Brothers. Here on KC Awesome Studios. As a Warner Brothers fan myself, I'm going to take a look at the rich history and films of this legendary studio. It has fair shares of ups and downs in history, but let's see what we can salvage, shall we? As we take a look at the great history of this great studio. Let's begin, shall we? Let's rewind the clock back to 1923. The Warner Brothers, Harry, Albert, Sam, and Jack founded the studios at humble beginnings, and in this very peculiar lot. Before then, they were just giving us silent films and serial shows. But sometimes they weren't very silent, but yeah. Whatever the serial show called, but hey, there were serials. Well, no serials involved, but yeah. However, there was one movie that was their first huge success. 1927's Jazz Singer. Warner Brothers' very first feature film. Mainly about a young Jackie. I'm just gonna call him young Jackie. Going out wanting to achieve his dream of being a jazz singer, being in musical arts. But unfortunately, he had a few issues with his father, who wants him to be something else that he's not. And this is probably the first movie that did that kind of plot line. And of course, he found love in a pretty gal named Mary. And of course, you're a huge fan of musical numbers. This is probably a movie for you. Especially I love smooth jazz and dancing, singing, all that good stuff. And we also get this famous moment in all cinema. White guy apparently putting makeup on to make himself look like an African American guy. Not even gonna touch that one. Back in those days, they got away with those kind of things. If anyone tried to do it now, they'll find this very offensive, and I don't want to offend any of my African American viewers, so I'm just going to leave this one alone. What I am going to talk about, this movie led to the first ever Looney Tune character, Bosko. You guys remember Bosko, right? Right? No one? Oh. Well, yeah, anyway, yes, it's true. This guy was the first ever Looney Tune character named Bosko, correct? Hugh Herman and Rudolph Isling. In order to compete with Disney, these two animators created their own little mascot to try to compete with Bosko or Mickey. I don't know at the time of the release, but whatever. And well, through the grinding, they actually create their first Looney Tune character. This weird-looking dude, who's loosely based on the jazz singer, the character in the movie. And well, they decided to name him Bosko. But the Warner Bros. Trains kept on coming with Dawn June, a romantic adventure film. Lights of New York City, that was the first recorded feature film. The box office smash hit, The Singing Fool. One of the few colored films at the time on the show. The film Gold Diggers on Broadway, a complete successful film, though unfortunately it was lost to time. And who can forget one of the most practical effects of the 1928 film, Noah's Ark? Yeah, back in those days, they never had any CG effects here and there. And, well, Noah's Ark practically doesn't need CG effects. Well, I guess if they would need it now, they were going to make a Noah's Ark film again. Because, well, the whole animal rights thing. And though it wasn't accurate to the story of Noah's Ark, it still was a phenomenal film at the time. I even heard tell there was some controversy behind the scenes of Noah's Ark film, though I'm not entirely sure what it is. But either way, this was still a phenomenal film. And well, one of the few starting points was Warner Brothers, as there were better films to come. And well, I think we're done for today. But join us next time as we take a look at more Warner Brothers properties.